Hello, welcome to What the Flick. I am Christy, that is Matt, that is Alonso. So Oscar nominations came out recently, and among them was this Chilean film called A Fantastic Woman.
Oh, I thought we were just going to talk about a fantastic woman named Christy.
Sí, claro, yo soy una mujer fantástica. So anyway, it's a Chilean film. It's up for, muchas gracias. It's up for Best Foreign Language Film, and Alonso is going to describe it.
So Daniela Vega stars as Marina. She's a waitress and a nightclub singer, and she's in a relationship with a guy named Orlando. And then when he drops dead, his family enters the picture, and they're real a-holes, especially because Marina is trans and they're super obnoxious about it. But she's a fantastic woman. She will get through this. Take a look.
Gracias, mi amor. Una amiga de Orlando. Yo soy...
Sí, sí sé quién es.
Lo que pasa es que Orlando se empezó a sentir pésimo. ¿Orlando? Y se murió.
¿Se murió?
¿Son pareja? Sí, somos pareja.
Pero tú no vas a ir a ningún funeral ni a ningún velorio, ¿entiendes? Yo simplemente estoy protegiendo a mis seres queridos, nada más.
Orlando es un ser querido para mí.
I've seen a few complaints about, the director Sebastián Lelio, who did Gloria, it's another white cis guy making a trans movie, but he worked with Daniela Vega throughout the entire script process. I think she actually began as a consultant. He ultimately cast her in the role and really shaped the role around her. The fact that she's an opera singer and all this other stuff that are facets to her own personality. So, to me, it didn't feel like there wasn't a story they were entitled to tell. I think she was very involved in telling it herself, and
bringing authenticity to it from her own experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a powerful movie. I think it's a really great drama about loss and about it would be awkward enough to be sort of the woman that your man left his family for, and then having to contend with that family, once he dies, with do you get to show up at the funeral or not, that kind of thing. The fact that Daniela is trans, you get to see how the cops treat her and how the wife treats her, and there's so much just sort of like little tiny, microaggressions, is that what the kids call them, where they dead name her or they misgender her, and Spanish gives you all those extra gender possibilities, in the language. So yeah, it's just all this crap that gets thrown at her, but she's nobody's victim.
Yeah, and I appreciate that there is a variety of ways that people react to her, as I would imagine is true in real life. You know that not everybody is. A lot of people are awful to her, but not everybody is awful to her. And that is part of the unexpected journey of this, is like every new person she meets, whether they know who she is or they eye her suspiciously, like you never know what's going to happen from one interaction to the next. So this felt to me like a Pedro Almodovar version of a Hitchcock film in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot of suspense to it, but also because it is about matters of sexuality and identity in very theatrical ways at times, because she is a singer, and because Sebastián Lelio's use of lighting is quite often really vibrant and really, it's in the opening, the title sequence, the gentleman who is the much older boyfriend is at a sauna. And the lighting behind him is like subtly changing from like a deep blue to a deep purple to a deep red. And from the very beginning, it puts you on edge with this sort of almost visceral kind of cellular sense that, okay, something's gonna happen. This seems like a very quiet and peaceful moment, but like you're on edge from the very beginning in sort of subtly dramatic ways. And so I liked it a lot. I never knew where it was going. And then I appreciate that she's got dignity for a long time, and then she snaps. And it's totally earned.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I like, amongst the things I was impressed with was in, opening the early parts of the film, when you see Orlando start to fall ill and you immediately like, oh no. And again, like didn't know what was going on, but then thought I was emotionally invested in these characters right off the bat, really, really quick. The chemistry between the older man, and Daniela Vega was really, really sharp. And to your point, Alonso, like every time she turns around, there's either some major moment of her dignity, like somebody trying to, like just these indignities she's forced to confront, or just these little things like the manager of the restaurant that she works at that seems to be going out of her way to show like, you know, I'm there for you. You know, you need it. Like, look what a good ally I am.
It's okay. It's better than her being an asshole.
No, understood,
right?
but like,
No, but it's just the different ways that people, the way they react. Like, I like that there's a cop character who is so inclined to be protective of trans people that she assumes that Orlando like was violent with her or something. It's like, no, actually, that's not a thing.
We're just in love with each other. It's okay.
Yeah, but like it's so of the mindset of like being protective. You know, she can't wrap her head around the fact that they had a healthy relationship and that Daniela doesn't live on the street and that, you know, all these sort of things that she's decided, oh, well, if you're trans, I have to make sure that this and this didn't happen. It's like,
no one regards her normally. No one regards her as a normal human being, right?
Yeah.
Even if they mean well, they're going out of their way.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple of people that do, right? Like arguably maybe her sister and brother-in-law do, and then maybe Orlando's brother seems to like kind of just be chill about it.
He's kind to her, yeah.
Everybody else is varying degrees of at least like, oh, you're different, right? And some places it's really awful, like the guys in the truck, and then some it's like the restaurant manager where it's a little like, oh, I know you're different, but I'm gonna treat you like anyone else. I make a big thing out of it. Which is
it's like Bradley Whitford in Get Out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
The only real issue I had with this movie is I felt like there's a little bit of a red herring with one of the things going on. And
there's a MacGuffin that's sort of ultimately like, why was that even here?
Oh, but I appreciate that perhaps that did not turn out the way we might have expected.
Yeah.
Because I think I had an idea of what was going to happen
there.
there.
Right?
I thought something was going to happen.
I guess, but it felt like a device the movie didn't need.
Okay.
Right.
But you know, it's not a deal breaker. It's just sort of like, look, this is an interesting enough character. If we're just going to do this as a character study, we don't have to get too into the plot weeds here. But okay, if you're going to do that, at least they don't dwell on it too much, and it's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, my interpretation of that, again, without spoiling anything, is just to say like the universe is random. You know, maybe not everything happens in a tidy way with a cathartic answer. Maybe things are just random and they mean nothing sometimes. That's how I interpreted that particular moment that we are all speaking about very vaguely here. Yes. No, I liked it a lot, and it's an interesting cross-section of films that are up for Best Foreign Language Film. I've seen The Square and Loveless, and now this. We should catch up with The Insult.
Yes.
Right.
And then I think the other one, that's the movie I was just telling you that drops
Hungarian
on,
film.
The Hungarian film drops on Netflix on Friday.
We're blanking on the name of it.
We'll play something and something. I think the most generic title
Body
ever.
and something.
Of Body and Soul or something. Yeah.
We'll catch up with them all. We will.
Why not?
Yeah.
Sure.
So what are your numbers? Because we did The Square.
Yes.
We haven't done Loveless yet. Loveless is amazing, you guys. The Russian film.
That's opening.
That's devastating.
Soon.
We'll get to that too.
Yeah.
We're here
Russian
for you.
film is nominated. They're gonna hack, and it's gonna be fit.
Очень хороший. All right. So I am giving this an 8.2. And Daniela Vega is really great. I mean, again, it has to fluctuate from moment to moment depending on who she's dealing with, and is up for every challenge, and has a really strong presence about her on screen. And
yeah, I give it an 8.5. I think it's terrific.
Yeah, also 8.5. And you're right. I mean, the movie completely rests on her shoulders, and she's amazing.
Yes. So 8.4 from us. Yeah, we also reviewed Gloria a few years ago, which Sebastián Lelio did.
Which again, Paulina Garcia, great performance. Totally, you know, she was in every single scene, and so you know he knows how to sort of craft these movies around interesting women going through kind of tricky life issues and coming out on the other side of it.
And he's now doing an English language remake of Gloria starring Julianne Moore, which I think it's coming out later this year maybe. Anyway, so we'll review that too. 8.4 is our number. It's 87% on the tomato meter. Yeah, it's probably trickling out. So go catch up with your foreign language Oscar nominees. Bye.